Hey, friend, welcome back to the show. Today, we're talking about one of the most underrated growth levers in business. It's the rooms that you're in. This is a great conversation. I've had this conversation quite a bit with people here lately because the right rooms don't just give you connections, it creates clients, partners, referrals, and momentum without you posting more and grinding harder. Let me say this plainly. Most people don't have a marketing problem, they have a proximity problem. And that cannot be true enough. They're working hard, staying visible, being consistent, but they're doing it in rooms where their audience either they can't buy, they won't refer, or doesn't value what they do. And that's why it feels like that you're constantly pushing uphill, pushing forward, and not getting things done. So today I'm giving you what I'm going to call the right rooms rule, a filter that helps you choose rooms that pay you back and confidently leave the rest. You need to get out of there if it's not doing what it needs to be doing for you. And there's a cost to being in the wrong rooms. The wrong rooms are expensive and not just financially. So they cost you time, they cost you energy, they cost you focus, and they even cost you your confidence. And the sneaky cost is this: the wrong rooms train you to believe that you need more effort when you really need is better placement. And the first example that I'm going to talk about is the wrong room. So let me give you a quick example. So let's imagine this. You're a business owner who needs help establish service providers scale, premium positioning, referrals, and strategic relationships, which is often what most people need. So you go and you join a networking group that meets every week. It's friendly, it's active, everybody is swapping business cards. That happens frequently. But here's what's really happening under the surface. The group is full of people who all need leads, right? Most of them are selling low ticket or commoditized services. Conversations revolve around, how do I get more followers, or how do I run more ads? And referrals are really random. They're not strategic. People don't have a plan. And the unspoken culture is, in my opinion, everybody is out there pitching one another. So you show up, you participate, and you try to be helpful. But you leave there thinking, gosh, I talked to a lot of people and none of them were really my buyer. That was the wrong room. Not because they're bad people, but because the room doesn't create leverage for your business model. And so the rule is if the room requires you to convince people that you're valuable, it's not your room. Okay? It's not your room if you're having to convince people. And so let's talk about a framework all about the right rooms or the right room rule. So here's the filter. 5 rules. If a room doesn't pass, you leave it. Clean, confident, no drama, whatever, you're going to leave it. So rule number 1 is you're going to follow the buyer. The right room has your buyers or people who are going to regularly introduce buyers. They're your connectors. So ask this question: are decision makers with a budget in this room? Are decision makers with a budget in this room? If it's mostly peers, not up peers, but peers who are also trying to grow, that's not automatically wrong. That's not automatically wrong, but it usually is a community room. Okay. If everybody's trying to grow, it's okay. But that is usually a community room, a room full of people maybe just like you. It's not a revenue room, is what I'm trying to say. It's not necessarily a revenue room. And so number 2 is listen for conversation gravity. In the right rooms, you're not going to have to force relevance. You're not going to have to force your relevance, okay? You're going to hear problems that naturally match what you do. So you're going to know people are talking your language in that meeting. For example, for me, it would be, we need to delegate this. Ah, they're speaking my language. We're trying to scale and operations seem to be really messy. Ah, they're speaking my language. We need more referrals. We need better partners. We need better rooms. Those people are talking my language. And so that's conversation gravity. The room is already discussing the gaps that I feel. So, what are the gaps that you can feel? If you're hearing those gaps, then you're in the right room. If somebody's talking, if you're a PR journalist and somebody's talking about awards that they've won, or they're trying to win awards, or they're talking about they want to get more visibility in magazines or things like that, they're speaking your language. And so those are the right rooms for you. And so your buyers are in that room. And so rule number 3, choose repeatable rooms that you go into week after week, month after month. So one-off events are like, let's call it speed dating. Sometimes you're going to get lucky. Sometimes you're not. You can build trust there, but you're not always going to get business in a one-off meeting. You need to go somewhere where people can get to know you. You're going to build that know, like, and trust factor. Right rooms are repeatable. Those are like monthly masterminds, weekly communities, quarterly industry gatherings, whatever those are, smart connects on Alignable. Some of my events, I have events every Tuesday, every other Wednesday, masterminds every Thursday. I have once a month meetings for people to celebrate the wins that they've had throughout the month. And so those are repeatable meetings that you want to go to on a very consistent basis so that people know those people, those buyers, those connectors, they're there every single week. And so trust is built through that familiarity. And then familiarity, then on the other hand, is going to create those referrals. And so you want to go to the meetings with a connector strategy. What is your strategy to connect to the people in the room? So don't go to a meeting without a strategy. And so that is a great CEO move. So before you show up to the meeting, have 3 connectors that you want to meet. Who are they? And have a sentence, a 1-sentence line that you're going to show up and use. So for example, I help growth ready CEOs build a referral engine so that they can scale without cold outreach. Something along that line. That's not even one I use, but it's one that I could use. But who should I meet there? Who do I want to intentionally go meet at that meeting? That positions you as a leader, not as a seeker, not as somebody you're going to go and attack at that meeting. It prompts introductions immediately when you get to that meeting. Automatically 3 people that you want to meet. And so then rule number 5 is demand an ROI path. Again, another strategy, demand that ROI path, that CEO level filter that you can have. If the room can't reasonably produce for you 1 intro, 1 opportunity, 1 partner conversation within the next 30 days, that room should not be a priority revenue room for you. Go find your room. Go find your space, as I always say. It might still be a valuable room for you to learn from other people in what they're doing and how they're finding clients, but it's not where your calendar should live or where you should be trying to grow unless the audience in the room changes. Okay, so let's talk about what a right room looks like. So the same CEO, same offer, but instead they join a room where members are already doing 250,000 to maybe 2 million and over. They're in the room, they're talking about operations, they're talking about delegation, they're talking about partnerships, they're talking about growth. This is for me, and we could, whatever your gaps are. They're service providers in the room and they're decision makers. They're there ready to buy services. They collaborate all the time. They're in there having discussion, and introductions happen just naturally because the culture is already set in that room. It's trust based. I see this in my BNI group. We go there, we have conversations, discussions just take place because everybody already knows, likes, and trusts each other. And so conversations just take place. We talk about what's going on in the business, things that are happening, and what's going on this month, and we can talk about that. And then connections just start happening. So the CEO just shows up using a connector strategy. And I'm trying to get these things to happen in my in-person luncheons in my local event. We're not always having to say, who is your ideal client? Who is your referral partner? Who is this all the time? It's just we show up and we talk, and then connections just start taking place. You want to be focused on building strategic referral relationships this quarter. And who is in the room, known for making those great introductions. And those get pointed to 2 or 3 people immediately, because those are the people that people want to gravitate to because they're known for making those introductions, and then they're the ones that get introductions back. So then follow up within 24 hours with a quick thank you, a clear who you're going to meet, a low pressure invite to connect. And then within 2 weeks, conversations then begin to take place. For example, a partner who can refer clients monthly, and buyers who can who are actively looking for support for you. Same person, same skills, different room. The right rooms don't just give you people, they give you outcomes. Week after week after week, month after month after month, quarter after quarter after quarter. That's the right rooms. That's the right rooms. And you've heard me talk before. That's what I'm building in the Power Connectors. That's what I'm building in the Power Connectors. Getting in the right community, getting in the right rooms with people so that you've got this constant flow of referrals coming to you because you built this connection with all of these people, and the flow has opened up and coming to you all the time. And so the CEOs, you as a CEO, you want to audit the rooms you're in. And there's a simple exercise that you can do today. Write down all of the rooms that you're currently in. If you're not in rooms, audit rooms that you want to be in. But they need to be networking groups, online communities, masterminds, memberships, chambers, industry groups, and score them on these 5 rules that I just talked about. Are the buyers present? Is their conversation gravity? Are they repeatable? Are they connector friendly? And is there a clear ROI path? And score them, 0 to 10. If it's an 8 to 10, keep them and deepen those relationships or deepen your involvement in those meetings. On a 5 to 7, they're optimal rooms. Test them for the next 30 days. If they're not working for you, you don't get connections, you don't get a buyer, get out. 0 to 4, leave it or downgrade it. Stop spending your prime time there. Even if it's my rooms, get out. It's not worth it to you. And here's the key. When you leave the wrong rooms, you don't just lose noise, okay? You regain space for higher quality relationships, consistent visibility, and strategic follow up where revenue actually comes from. And so I want you to do that audit for yourself. But here's your takeaway: you do not need more rooms. You do not need more rooms. You need the right rooms with a CEO level entry strategy. And if you want help identifying the best rooms for your business, send me what you sell, send me who you serve, and the room that you're currently spending the most time in. And I'll tell you what to keep, what to cut, how to prioritize your next meeting so that you can grow without chasing. I want you to lead like a CEO every single day. Every single day, I want you leading like a CEO. Obviously, I want you in my rooms. Obviously, I do. But if my rooms are not the right rooms for you, I don't want you there. I don't want you in places that you're wasting your time. I help you fix your gaps. Don't go where you're not getting the ROI that you need. But I hope that as we're rolling out these the Power Connector community, that you find that that is your space. And so if you've not already joined the powerconnectors.org website, do that. We are rolling out school for you here very soon. Every time we think we're rolling it out today, we find a snag, but it is coming very soon, and it is going to be premium for those of you that get into that membership. I promise you it will be premium. But anyway, have a great day. Get in the right room. Get out of the wrong rooms. I love you, and I will see you very soon in a room that's right for you. Bye.